Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay. And oh boy, did we just have some fun right before the show. We were like, hey, let's try to get rid of that one little shadow on Paula's face. Oh yeah, we ran into trouble.
Sorry for the delay. We know we are a few minutes late getting started.
No, 3 minutes. A couple minutes. We were trying to work on the lighting because we're also fancy on this side that we're trying to get rid of one little shadow. Yeah, where we work.
So now it's a work in progress. So just bear with us.
Yep. Yeah, I think we need some more light. Maybe something down in that corner to get rid of the shadow. And maybe something in this corner. Figure it out.
Yeah. But good morning, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend.
We did.
Yeah. Productive. Got stuff done. Yeah, no, but I hope the same for you guys too.
We do have an update for you.
Yes, we do have homestead update.
But how are you this morning? Other than our shadow busting efforts last minute.
Yeah.
Gotta go live.
Yeah.
We almost did whatever his name is. F it, let's go live. Yeah, it would have been all blurry though.
Yeah, moral of the story, if you got 6 minutes before you go live, just wait till tomorrow. Or till later on in the day.
That was me. I was like, 6 minutes, no problem. Nope. When you mess around with the lighting, things change.
Yes.
God said, let there be light.
Yes. But
oh yeah, it's just we're gonna put it back. We're gonna find a way to fix that shadow. That's what we're gonna do. Like, let's just lower it down and then we'll have flooding from both sides. Yeah, no, that didn't work at all.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You still look pretty.
Oh, cheese my ears. Thank you, baby.
She does call me Big Ears as endearment. Big ears.
I don't call you big ears.
That's what I hear. For decades, I've heard cheers, big ears.
My dears.
Enunciate.
I do. Okay, who heard big ears instead of my dears?
Who heard black eyes?
A lot of people.
Black
eyes. No one heard black eyes when you said it the other day, to the point where we had to make a correction.
Not a correction, clarification. Clarification. Enunciation.
Yes, enunciate.
Seriously, for years I thought you said cheers, big ears.
Well, you're big ears and I'm noddy. That's a bit of a throwback for the Enid Blyton fans out there.
The who's?
Enid Blyton. She wrote the Noddy books.
Oh, okay.
Before they became politically incorrect with the gollywogs in the forest and like that.
She may have bumped her head today. I don't know what's going on. She's just gibberish coming out.
Shout out to the Enid Blyton fans who know about the Noddy books growing up back in the day.
Well, there's one right here, for sure.
There's
one.
Yes.
Maybe there's more.
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you?
I am good.
You had a busy weekend.
Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, productive. Obviously, good. Pig's alive and well. We're all alive and well, and we were able to get a big project done yesterday while the sun was shining. It was cold yesterday morning, like there was frost on the ground. It was a wee bit chilly, but
a wee bit chilly. It's Michelle on my right side.
Oh, get over it, my friend.
Got rid of the shadow, but we introduced a whole new thing. Yeah, so we got the septic line in, which was a project we wanted to get done. We've been living on a 3-inch hose that we did our best to make straight across the ground, which is uneven. And so there's little valleys in there and just didn't like it. And we froze it the first year.
The very first year. Lessons have been learned, and I've been getting it running nicely since. But yeah.
How did you freeze it that first year?
Did I freeze it? I think I left it open.
Ooh.
That's what it was. It was left.
That's a mistake.
It was left open. And so really what you should do, folks, is keep your tanks closed and then open them all in one go so that water runs out. Less chance of freezing because it empties then in one go down the hose. And I think that's what the issue was, because we had to defrost the whole hose. And so since then, obviously been more on top of that. We haven't had that issue since.
Yeah, she froze the hose. I defrosted it. She keeps using the word we.
Team effort. There you go, from start to finish.
Gollywogs or wallygogs or whatever.
Wallygogs.
Yeah, I came home and she's like, something's wrong with the hose. I'm like, oh no. In the middle of winter. I'm like, there's only one thing that can be wrong with a hose. What did you do? Nothing. It just stopped not clearing. It's not, the tanks are full and won't empty. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, it was frozen 50 feet of it. So I had to defrost it slowly. And then we dealt with it. But this year, we got rid of that hose.
Yeah.
We did like a septic hose. It's like the industrial size.
Yeah, the proper hose and stuff that we had.
Yep. But replaced it with a 4-inch septic line, which is definitely a lot flatter. but it's, of course, not level because we need it to actually drain.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a lot straighter. And we ran a test on it, and no water stayed in it. It just all ran out, which was good.
Yeah, and emptied out as we had a little peephole area, and yeah, we could actually see the pipe empty, so it slopes perfectly. Good job.
Yeah, I was installing a joint, a connection, so that our dish or washer dryer, because both of them release water. It's a heat pump dryer that moves the moisture out instead of using heat to do it. It moves the moisture out, so water comes out of it. And then, of course, the washing machine, lots of water comes out of it. Yes. So it created a line that connected to that line instead of just punching a hole in it. Actually did it proper. And then we had a little portal for a bit for our test. And yeah, we're comfortable. It's gonna 4-inch too. You freeze that, and we got problems.
Yeah, that's a skill if I do that.
So those keeping track on their bingo card, we got our septic done.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all ready for winter. It worked perfect. And yeah, hopefully no headaches at all. Nothing to walk over because it's all along the side of the wall now.
Yep.
And a washer dryer is connected too.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like there's one thing ticked off for the not bucket list, for the things to do list before prepping for winter. So
winter's coming.
Winter is coming.
It's coming for sure. It came yesterday morning. So now we got our under heating, diesel heating, and our main generator. I think I might do the main generator next because we've had to use our backup generator a couple times the last few days.
Yeah, get her done.
Get her done. All right, well, there we are, 10-minute mark, because we blew the first 2 minutes on you. Sorry about that. It was, yeah, I don't like the lighting now. You got shadows everywhere. I'll fix that. We'll get back to normal. Okay, so let's go and get into some of this news because there's a lot of things I'd like to talk about today. Anything else we want to get to before we?
I think one of the key things to talk about is the tour. The tickets are up.
Right, we'll get to that. But is there anything else that you want to chat about? Plus, our guest today is Dan Hartman. We'll be talking about the tour quite a bit on that one.
Yep,
because it's about his son. It's the movie we're putting together for him. All right, so where we left off on Friday was to let you know that Viva Fry was on. We had him on. It was on Thursday. He was on for about 40 minutes or so. Good man, very busy man. So very pleased when he can make some time to chat. We jumped into the ostrich conversation. He spent some time talking about Pierre Poilievre and his disappointment with his lack of response to this. He was asked twice by reporters, hey, well, what about this ostrich stuff? And he switched the subject to inflation and blaming the Liberals. Didn't address directly, didn't say anything like they shouldn't be called, just simply changed the subject to mismanagement by the Liberals and inflation. I got a couple hiccups there. Very good episode. I enjoyed my time with him. Lots of energy, that guy. And I've learned a little bit that I'm like when I play pool. I'm as good as my opponent. Okay, so when I'm doing a show, I'm as energetic as my guest. So he's got a high energy, and I had high energy in there as well. Faster speaking, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of weird how I adapt to the person I'm with.
You're also very cute looking when you play pool.
You like that? That is something she likes.
He's got a particular look on his face when he's looking down, up. He's looking up over his glasses, and yeah, he look cute. I've always like that. I'm playing pool face. No, it's not that. To be clear, it wasn't that look.
I got to take you more often. You always did like that. One of our first dates or so was at a pool hall, or at least with a pool table.
Yeah,
and you're like, "Ooh, yeah, I'm going to marry that guy." Yeah, he sunk that ball. He cut it into the corner.
With them skills.
Got to make more of him. That's what she thought.
And I did. I made you more.
So Viva, go watch that episode. It's a good episode. I enjoyed it. Always enjoy spending time with him. Alberta Prosperity Project posted. Alberta Prosperity Project delegation secures renewed U.S. backing for sovereignty in high-level Washington, D.C. talks. So there's a bit of a press release here. A little bit lengthy, so go ahead and check it out. But the gist of it is, back earlier this year, and I'll be clear about this because some people are very, very confused on who actually went down. Mitch Sylvester, Dennis Modry, Jeffrey Rath, and I'm not sure if Keith Wilson went to this one or not, but he may have. That's Alberta Prosperity Project. A lot of people are saying Danielle Smith is talking to Trump about separation. No, she's not. She's not. She absolutely is not. Right now, she is focused on other issues. She's left the separation issue to the people. That's why it's a citizens initiative. And she is not the one that went down. These are the same people that went down earlier in the year. And what they're doing is it's not 51st state either. A lot of people are like, oh, look, you're trying to have us annexed, or Trump is trying to take Alberta. No, this is about whether or not they'll recognize the independence of Alberta if Albertans choose yes on the referendum. This is one of the major steps in being recognized as an independent country, especially if Ottawa is making things difficult.
Yeah.
So if we get the petition going, it passes the court in November, December, and all the signatures are validated, and the referendum happens. Like, there's a lot of ifs. It still has to happen. And the yes vote wins. At that stage, Alberta is going to be at a crossroad. The crossroad is going to be is whether or not the Clarity Act supports the decision of Albertans, and Ottawa starts with good faith negotiations for the separation of the province into its own nation. If for whatever reason, at that stage, Ottawa isn't cooperating, isn't working with us in good faith, or simply is stalling the whole entire process, another international way of declaring and recognizing independence is to declare it, which is what the referendum would be. It's the people speaking, and start to be recognized by other countries.
Correct. That's right, to be recognized by others.
This is the way it's been done all along. Now, for those that say this is treasonous, it's not. The Supreme Court has made a decision that there is a way to do it, and this is the way to do it. So it's not treasonous at all. If you think it's treasonous, go talk to the Supreme Court. They're the ones that laid it out. Also, the Constitution of Canada does allow this process to happen. So there's nothing treasonous about this. If Alberta separates, it's going to be the will of the people, not the push or desire of a few. So if we get to that crossroads and Ottawa is not cooperating with the process, which may or may not happen, we don't know, the international way of getting this done is to declare it and be recognized.
Yep.
As simple as that. There is no sit-down negotiation with the previous country. Sit down with your people and start to hammer out your constitution.
Yep, get it done.
That's the process. So anyways, this is now the second conversation. The first one was with Marco Rubio's number 2. That was who the first conversation was with. Yeah. And my understanding, and I'll clarify this in the next few hours because I have a call with Dr. Modry, it was to sit down with Marco himself. So that may have been who it was. I'm not sure. I'll get into those details a little bit later and share them when I can. But when they say high level, that's what they're talking about. I don't think it was with Trump himself, but it could have been. So we'll find out some more details later.
Yep.
Again, but
huge.
The main details is this is not 51st state, and this is not Danielle Smith, and it's not annexed or anything like that. This is the legal process Canada has laid out, and Alberta's following it. So news on that one. Again, our Dr. Speaker, who's a good man. This one was from Dr. Joseph Ladapo, who's the Surgeon General of Florida, posting about Dr. Speaker and his pleasure of meeting him. And it was his work on DNA contamination, qualified the suspicions, and Florida has been using this work to make decisions. So congratulations to Dr. Speaker. Sean and Teresa Buckley, they've now started. So October 4th is when they started their journey. So they're now on day 2 of coming across Canada, making their way to Ottawa to drop off 150,000 inked signatures on a petition to get the government to lay off of natural path options for people. This is something they should be destroying the industry of. So they started their journey. And if anybody wants to drive with them with a flatbed trailer, they really do mean it when they say that that's something that they're looking for, because they are driving a VW bus. And they have some concerns on whether or not it'll make the journey. We'll see. But they started their journey. I saw a picture of them on the ferry out in BC. And I'll be at the October 11th event in Edmonton. So maybe you guys can join us there as well. But keep it up, you two. You're very brave.
Drive safe.
Yeah, drive safe. You sounded like Trump there. Drive safe.
Drive safe.
There you go. Keith Wilson here, responding to CTV. Canada can be an energy superpower if it gets out of its own way, says CTV. Well, Alberta can be an energy superpower if we divorce Canada, says Keith Wilson. It's cool that CTV is kind of highlighting that Canada is restricting the energy industry. They've been doing that for a long time, CTV. I'm not sure why they're jumping on that bandwagon, but there they go. But the truth is, Alberta could be an energy superpower if we divorce Canada. That's one of the main things that is part of the conversation moving forward. So thanks to Keith for highlighting that, correcting the headline there for CTV. Of course, we had Leighton Gray on Friday. A lot of fun. Got his book, read his book. It's a lot of wisdom in there. It's very timely, too. He wrote that book before these bills came out of Ottawa. Bill C2, 8, and 9. Go check that out because, again, very, very good wisdom in there, and we like having him on. I did post a correction as we were covering this ostrich story about the $13.44 million grant. I did post a correction because during the show I said the contract was terminated in 2025. The facts are, because I had to go double check and make sure, so I'll read the correction. The contract between Universal Ostrich Farm and Immune Biosolutions termination date is actually unknown. Some people are saying as early as 2021 or even 2020. I do have a request for an interview with Katie directly, 101, because there's quite a few things I'd like to address that happened between 2020 and 2024. So I'm working on that. She's very busy. But the termination date is unknown. The announcement of the termination was May 21st, 2025. So sorry for confusion this may have caused, because some people were highlighting that the timeline doesn't work. Because my understanding is the contract was terminated before December 2024. I just don't know the exact date. But the announcement came out in May, or the post on their website talking about it came out May 2025. So they may have posted that to clarify. But anyways, we'll follow up with her and have her on.
Excellent.
Yep. So breaking news here. Saba Vizi was found not guilty.
Yay.
And I went through the timeline here of actually how this broke down. So February 19, 2022, he was arrested and charged with resisting arrest, 2 counts of mischief, and disobeying a court order, the no honking injunction. He was arrested, and we saw some video where he was beat in the snow with some knees to the ribs, damaged him quite a bit. So we all saw that happen live. And then prior to September 25th, which was a recent court hearing or decision, 2025, his charges were narrowed. I was trying to find out exactly when. There's some posts out there, but it doesn't necessarily say when this happened. But it did happen before September 25th, 25. 2 of the charges were dropped. So the only 2 remaining were mischief, 1 count, and disobeying a court order. So the resisting the police arrest was dropped, likely when they saw the video. I'm not sure.
Beaten? Yeah.
I'm not sure how they were going to prove that. And then another mischief charge. I'm not sure what it was related to. Maybe not leaving as opposed to being part of the protest. The part of the protest was likely the one they continued with, and disobeying a court order because he may have honked. They proceeded with, but then they dropped the other 2. And then September 25th was a court ruling on the charter question, where the defense kind of won. All right. So the judge came back and said there's a vacuum of evidence. No arresting officer testified. Interesting. So nobody was named and brought to court as the arresting officer. And according to the judge, no video of the arrest. And no clear evidence of who arrested VZ. So I put a note in here. The arrest video exists. Posted it below. It was his beating. Presumably, this is why the Crown didn't provide it as evidence to the court.
No kidding.
Nothing to see here, they say. So the court said, look, you don't even have an arrest video. We don't know who arrested him. And no arresting officer testified. So as far as the court's concerned, the Crown didn't prove he was even arrested. So that was one of the items. The arrest was ruled unlawful itself, making any searches unlawful. His seizure of his driver's license was deemed unreasonable. These are all charter violations. Section 10A, breach of the charter. Please fail to explain the alleged court order adequately. So this will be the one that's still on the that was being charged, the breach of the court order. Section 10B, inconsistent evidence about access to counsel. So whether or not he was afforded a lawyer, there was questions around that. And the judge found that he wasn't properly, his rights were not properly addressed. And then section 24.2, video evidence obtained through these breaches was ruled inadmissible. So these videos probably of him in a truck or something like that, or maybe honking, I don't know. But the court said those are no good. You guys broke his rights. You guys violated his rights. So with no evidence left, the Crown failed to withdraw on September 25th. The matter was adjourned to October 3rd to determine whether or not a trial would proceed. That brings us to October 3rd. This was a real big mess in the courtroom. We had somebody in the courtroom taking notes for both of these and explained to us how messy this was in the courtroom. At 9:45, the court was supposed to start. First thing that happened was nobody knew where the courtroom was. Typically, according to our witness, they post it, but then it's a different room. Whether they're doing shenanigans, who knows? But what she did was she actually went all the way to the window, spoke to the court, and then they gave her the right courtroom. She went there, and it was empty, basically. So anyways, there's no Crown there. Even the court reporter, the court staff didn't know that the defense was coming in via Zoom. So our witness provided that information. They're like, oh my gosh, okay, there he is. So VZ and Miss Magnus, his lawyer, was there in Zoom, ready to go. No Crown. At 9:57, a fill-in Crown showed up. I'm not going to bother with that last name. At 9:59, the judge entered again, came back because it was a big mess. 10 o'clock, the Crown, so 1 minute later, the Crown conceded, stating that they would call no further evidence and requested an acquittal. So the Crown themselves said, we got nothing.
Yep.
They got nothing. At 10:01, the justice entered a not guilty verdict on both charges, and then court was done at 10:05. So from 10:59, when the judge entered, to 9:59, thank you, when the judge entered, to 10:05, when the judge closed court, 6 minutes. That's how long it took to end this whole case.
And how many months?
Over 3 years, 3.5 years,
yeah.
So the big takeaways here is the Crown was not ready. They didn't have evidence, and they put him through all of this stress, cost, battles, uncertainty. He was banned from Ottawa the entire time until his court started.
I think one would argue the Crown was ready, but they just prolonged everything. They knew where this was going to be heading because they weren't going to be releasing video of showing them beating this man. And
no, I'll push back to you. The Crown absolutely was not ready from the very day of the arrest. They didn't have enough evidence to charge this man. That's what the court just proved. That nothing was legal about it. They violated a lot of charter rights, and I hope that this is a precedence that can be persuasive in other matters. It's not binding because it's on the same level, but persuasive in other matters. Hopefully it can be, and especially in appeals. So anybody doing appeals now point to this. The situation may be a little bit different, but here you go. Also, let's not forget about Chris Deering. So this is one of the moments of the POEC that I will never forget, is when Chris Deering gave his testimony. He's a injured vet, and there's video of it. He was also beat, very similar to Saba. He took knees. Like the officers, that was their thing. They would push you to the ground and then put knees on you and hit you with them. So same video for Chris Deering. He was never charged, so he didn't have his time in court for that, but he did give his testimony to POEC. And if you can, go give him a follow. Go find his post. It's Chris Deering 17. I'm very pleased with everybody because he started at 120 followers, is now at 361. So thank you to everybody who went and gave him a follow. He's a good man. He's still dealing with his injuries from Afghanistan and the trauma that he dealt with in Ottawa. But if you watch the video here, look at the bottom corner.
I said, do you mind
his testimony?
Okay if I sit
and when he talks about how there was the worst pain he felt since he was blown up, that hit. None of our vets should be going through that. And that was quite the testimony about what happened in Ottawa. So give him a follow. There's a couple of posts there as I was sharing that out. Okay, so Spirit, which is one of the hens at the ostrich farm, died. The video is no longer available, but this was video of a computer screen that had video of the ostrich either just died or dying. I believe the post is no longer available because it might have caused some trouble for whoever took the video, because there's a restriction in place of capturing the truth on this one. So they're doing what they can to shut it down, including the airspace. So curious, but it's been taken down. But it has been confirmed by Katie as we get into this. We did launch our event, so Dan will be joining us shortly. Dan Hartman, to talk about the movie that we're creating for Sean Hartman. I'm recording one more interview today for this, and another one should be done in the next couple of days, and that will be it. I'll have all the video interviews to finish this up.
Great.
So we're going to be showing this in Edmonton on the 17th of October, 6 p.m. You can get your tickets by going to the levineshow.com. Yes, there's expenses to this, so we are a small fee of $30 a ticket to cover the costs of this, and then anything that is available after, if we can have proceeds, of course, it's some of those proceeds will end up with Dan Hartman, of course. But the whole point is to get the story out, and there's a lot, including our travel to go get this done to address. But we also have Dr. Shoemaker, Dr. Speaker, and Dr. Hodgkinson joining us in person at these 3 events. The first one at 17th of October in Edmonton, then Saturday 18th at 2 p.m. in Red Deer, and then Sunday, October 19th, 2 p.m. in Calgary. And Dean Rainey will also be joining us. He is the filmmaker of Why Can't We Talk About This? And it'll be a double feature. It'll be both films will be shown. So you get two movies, and you get 4 special guests on the stage, plus Sean Hartman, his father, Dan Hartman, is going to join us from Ontario via remote connection, a virtual appearance. He just can't make the travel. He's got surgery. So we'll absolutely keep you informed on what's going on, and there will be a Q&A panel. So if you have some questions for Dan or any of the doctors or even Dean, I'll be hosting the panel and hosting the event. So come check it out.
Yep.
But yeah, you can get your tickets on the levineshow.com. It'll take you to Eventbrite. Pick the day you want to join. Edmonton's on the 17th, Red Deer's the 18th, and Calgary's the 19th. And then grab your tickets. And you can also get a reserve seat. A reserve seat simply means everybody that gets a reserve seat ticket for $50 will make sure that they have a seat held for them.
Yeah.
And then general admission will grab whatever else is left. So if you want to ensure that you have a seat for you, you can go ahead and get a reserve seat. Otherwise, grab the general admission. And any seats that are available will be selling at the door for $40 if they are. We are going to be limited to some capacity, but go ahead and grab your seats now. And let me make sure that Dan's awake, because we're expecting him to come soon. It might be his lighting issue too that's delaying him. Just say good morning.
But yeah, if you go to the levineshow.com and scroll down, you'll see the post for the documentary, and then there'll be a little button say click get tickets, and then it'll take you to the Eventbrite link.
Yep.
Go ahead and check it out.
Yep. All right, so I just poked Dan, and we'll see how he's doing. The BC Ostrich Farm update on Saturday was a really good one. We had Dr. Pellick, I now know how to say his name, Leighton Gray, and Katie herself joined us. She was there for a good hour and a half as we were talking about the call, the court's decision, poly of silence, and a whole bunch more. Spirit's death. She took us through that as well. This turned out to be a very popular episode. People definitely want to have these kind of conversations. Our YouTube exploded on this one, and X loved it as well. Facebook loved it as well. So stay tuned as Nico and I continue to bring these kind of conversations to you, because we think it's important to have a lot of opinions. I do want to address some of the critiques that we received. There's a group, which we're going to simply just call the naysayers. And look, I'm not saying naysayers shouldn't exist. Naysayers absolutely should exist, because they're the ones that can flush out some of the details and ask some questions. And I think it's important to do exactly that. But they were upset, or that people that are following that side of things, which would be the government's version of the story, is upset that I didn't have somebody representing them on. The truth is, we did have somebody lined up. Okay, I'm not going to give you his name, but he was very involved in putting together, and I believe he's putting together his own video about what they believe to be what's going on here. But they're following the government's documents for this, and they're disregarding completely anything coming from the farm. They're basically calling them all liars. A video's coming out. I was supposed to get a copy of the video before this episode, October 4th. I didn't get one, and they ghosted me. So they were invited to come on, and the only request I had from them is bring your receipts, and it can't be speculation, because that's exactly what I noticed when I was going through this evidence for about a week. I was going through all of that evidence for about a week, and some people on my show know this, that I was actually concerned, and I had my questions about what was going on the farm side of things. How I deal with it, though, is when I don't play with speculation. I stay away from that because it's very dangerous. Hypotheticals, for sure, I stay away from that. And I then had primary source conversations. So Dr. Pellick himself, he's a primary source. He wrote the report that the court disregarded. And then also went through my reasons why I am, my view of this is opened, that it's because I've seen how courts do this to other cases where they withhold information that's vital. Detective Helen Gruce, any of the Freedom ones, the Coots trial. I've witnessed myself how the court will basically ensure that the record is one narrative. So that's why I'm trying to warn people, be careful. If you're using the federal court decision as your gospel, you're only going to get a scrubbed version that the CFIA has provided, not all the other experts. So be careful with that. Also, as somebody who's been the recipient of naysayers who I know are lying because it's my life. I know what my life is. I'm not a Fed. I didn't write software to lock down people and cause a genocide in Canada. That's all bogus, absolutely fabricated. And for 2.5 years, I've been addressing these kind of comments from people that are just ignorant. And when I saw that some of the same people were doing that naysaying that also did the one to us, I have my own personal experience where I know that they're not truthful. They're not looking for truth. They just pick their outcome and then try and find evidence to fit it.
That's right.
So they've already decided, well, this farm is a grift and they're fraud. That's their conclusion. Now they're trying to fit the evidence to that. If that's the way you do this, I don't know what to say to you.
Isn't that like one of the Donald Best's quotes? Find me the guy and I'll find you the crime, something like that.
Kind of, but it's not Donald Best. That actually came out of the Nazis.
Yeah.
And Stalin as well, I think, as well. So back then. But in either case, if you're going to have a conclusion and then trying to find evidence to fit it, there's nothing I can say to you. There's nothing I can show you. Absolutely everything. And then just to highlight one of the arguments that they're making that I just find so annoying because it's not factual. The farm said 398, now it's like 97 because one died, ostriches. But in the court documents, the CFIA says 300 to 330.
An estimate.
Read the rest of what they say there. That whole paragraph says they estimate three. And by the way, the argument is, well, look, they're lying about how many birds they have. Therefore, they're lying about everything. That's the speculation that these people do. But read what the CFIA said. They said, we estimate 300 and 330, and this is not a precise number. But yet, this is an example of what these naysayers will do. They're like, oh, look, there's supposed to be 300, 330 birds. They say it's closer to 400. They must be lying. Even though the CFIA said it's an estimate, and we have no precise number. They're disregarding those pieces of the detail and then running with it as evidence that they're lying. So I've spent a week going through all of these links, listening to their connections, like how they connect all these pieces together. And I have found that it doesn't have credibility. And then the last piece of this, and I shared this with my interview that I did with Dr. Pellick, so these people are not watching that, or they would know this. Some of the people they're pointing to have connections to Canadian Anti-Hate Network, the government, or they've been anti or pro-vaxxers. Let's just put it that way, all along. So if you want to go ahead and believe the government narrative, disregard the primary sources, and cherry pick the evidence so that your conclusion can be made, well, good on you. Go ahead and do that. But I did invite somebody on. I asked them to bring the receipts, and they were also supposed to provide their video that was going to connect it all together, to break it all open. They were going to provide that to me before October 4th. There is no video. They didn't provide the video. They stopped responding to me. And obviously, they're not on the episode. But there was a seat available to what I would call the naysayers. So those that said I should have had somebody on, I tried. They just simply wouldn't come with the receipts. Okay, so I'm suspecting Dan is maybe have slept in, but we'll keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check out that episode. Katie has provided a lot of information, and I am going to have her on as a one-on-one because I do want to have a lot more questions about what happened between 2020 and 2024. This episode was mainly about 2024 and on. So what happened from the test of the 2 carcasses and on. None of the other birds have been tested, and I don't think Spirit, who recently died, was tested either. So the CFIA didn't even use Spirit's death as proof that it was an avian flu death. Just accepted the fact that the RCMP scared that bird. It was already had a tendon issue. They nursed it back to health. The RCMP scared a whole bunch of birds with drones.
With drones, yeah.
This particular bird ended up going over the fence and injuring herself again. When the injury was known by Katie and her family, they provided instructions that included what are they called? Electrolytes in order to help the bird, and anti-inflammatories. Somebody, via some way of capturing it, saw that the CFIA people, one of them, dumped the electrolytes out behind the bush and never gave it to the bird. And then the bird ended up dying. So it didn't receive the care it should have gotten. It didn't receive the instructions from Katie on how to care for the bird, and the bird ended up dying. But what I have not seen is a CFIA coming out saying, hey, this bird died of avian flu.
Yeah.
They simply just acknowledged that it died in their captivity while they had control over it. So
in their care, custody, and control.
Yep. And this, I think, is yet another highlight here that these birds probably are not sick with avian flu, because CFIA would have, in my opinion, absolutely threw it all over the headlines everywhere. Look, one died here, and this is why we're doing this. But they didn't, because it didn't die from avian flu. It died from trauma, from the RCMP scaring it, and then not being treated properly. And that's sad, because these birds are not 6 weeks old.
Yeah, and they're also reliant on human care. So that was lacking when it came to them being in the care of the CFIA.
Yep. So go and check that out. Here's a clip where, right here. So here's a clip where I took about 5 minutes of that part of the interview and shared it. And she takes us through the story of what happened to Spirit. And it's hen number 710. So she cares. She definitely cares. And thank you to Katie for all your time. It was an hour and a half or so, maybe an hour and 45 minutes. As you can see the sun leaving her too. She had a lighting issue. But look, I just want to address that, because I got a lot of people sending me private messages and public messages condemning our coverage and not having the other side on, as they put it. I tried. And I haven't found anybody credible to come on, and none of them are bringing actual evidence. They're disregarding all the other evidence out there except for the government's version of things.
That's been a general pattern, I think, with a lot of your interviews over the years, is that it is very difficult to find someone on the other side who's willing to sit down, to have an in-depth, long-form conversation and discussion to explain their side and point of view.
Yep.
That's been very difficult to achieve over the years. And so this is just another example of it.
Well, yeah, and also Dr. Angela Rasputin, I think something like those lines.
I don't know what her last.
Invited her, and she publicly denied it. And she said, no. I invited the CFIA. They said no. I invited the RCMP. They said no. And then I invited one of the members of this group that I came across who was putting this together, and they just ghosted me. So look, 4 attempts of trying to get what you would call the other side on to have a conversation,
and legitimate people from the other side, not someone that has the difference of opinion.
Well, the last one was somebody with a difference of opinion.
Someone that is credible can come with information that is factual to represent their side. Yeah, and it's difficult.
One more thing I'd like to throw into here is when I first spoke with Dr. Pellick, I came from the position of the naysayer. I'm like, look, here's some of the things I've come across. Here's a deal with this Quebec company. Do you know anything about that? And it turns out he does. The Quebec company changed ownership when the progress was looking good, when there was positive benefits being shown, and then changed ownership, and they shut down the project. Like, oh, Well, that's a piece of information that's not out in the public because it's not. I even searched for it as well. There was no press release from the company saying we've canceled this project. There's no press release from the company that says we changed owners. They just kind of took the 13.44 million from the government. There's a press release for that. And then nothing. Crickets after that. And the naysayers are trying to use this as, well, they were just trying to make money. Maybe they were. Maybe they were trying to find antibodies to help with COVID-19. Maybe they were trying to assist with avian flu. Who knows? But that doesn't change what's going on here. What's going on here is 400 birds, nearly 400 birds are going to be called. And at this stage, there's no justification for it. Now, this is another piece of the puzzle that the naysayers don't have, that they haven't provided with me. Well, then why should they be called? They actually don't have a reason for the calling part. They just say these guys are grifters. They're trying to rip people off and they're lying. That's all they're saying. They're not saying, well, here are the reasons why they should be called, except for Dr. Angela. But she would not do an interview. She declined the interview request several times. So you can go see that on my X. And also to the naysayers, because I know they watch, because they love to clip my videos. Just come with some evidence.
Yeah, please
don't do your speculation. Don't do your hypotheticals. Because one of them even posted to me, well, Jason, if I hypothetically showed you this, what would you say then? I said, well, first, let's start with the hypothetical. I don't play that game. You shouldn't be doing hypotheticals. If you have that piece of evidence, bring it out. I'll take a look at actuals, not hypotheticals.
Yeah.
So there we go. And they're always naysayers. And I do want to put an exclamation point on this. We've had this happen to us.
Yeah.
Okay. Our kids are child actors, according to some of these people. And there was the same person involved in that story against us that's also involved in this story. And there's loose connections and direct connections to Canada Anti-Hate Network. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is incredible.
Yeah, I wish these child actors' parents would go pick them up.
No, you don't. You want to keep these kids. They're awesome.
And we feed them, we take care of them, we love them. Oh my goodness. Take care of your kids.
So Rise of Alberta. I believe this is an Alberta Prosperity Project event, or I'm not sure, but I learned about this through APP, Mitch Sylvester himself, telling me about October 25th at the Alberta Legislature in Edmonton, 4 to 6 p.m. There's going to be an independence rally. So I'm not sure who the organizer is, but I did learn this from Mitch Sylvester. And yes, I'm going to be there. And I might be there as a citizen or as a counselor. We'll see.
That'd the election, be pretty cool.
The election's on the 20th. So we're making our way towards that too. So I'll be there. Will you be there? Yeah, I know our friends should be there.
Yeah, if it's...
And this is safe for the kids. This is not this is not a riot or anything like that. This is going to go waving our Alberta flags and we'll see some people. So
yeah, no, I don't see why not.
You're going to check with the parents of our child actors to see if it's okay?
Yes, I will do.
Yeah, you will. We'll check with me because I'm the father. They couldn't be more of a clone than anybody than me. They're my little guys. JJ's got my weird sense of humor, and Jacob's got what I love about so many things I love about Jacob is he has this way of just making you smile and feel loved. Like they're perfect strangers. We were having breakfast in Breton, and he asked, "Can I go hug them?"
Yeah.
And he's pointing to the ladies. We're like, "Go ask them."
Yeah.
You got to ask them because we've now taught him not just walk up to people with open arms.
Yeah.
But to ask.
Introduce yourself too, because I said, you got to introduce. So he says, "Hi, I'm Jacob."
Yep.
Oh, gosh, love that boy.
Yeah. So that's what he did, and it's just so good. Like he's got such a big heart. JJ too. Look, I'm not saying JJ doesn't, but he gets preoccupied with his friends and his little world now. But Jacob definitely spreads around that love, and he gets a lot of it at home too. Very proud of my boys. They're definitely little me's and yous. Oh yeah,
like JJ now is just, if you see young pictures of me, it's JJ.
Thankfully, they look like you.
Yeah.
That's helpful. That's going to get them far in the world. But yeah, so October 25th, 4 to 6 p.m., Edmonton at the legislature. We'll be there. We'll be there, likely with our boys and some of our other friends.
Yeah, so shout out to all local Edmonton residents. We'll hope to see you there.
Yep. And I didn't get a response from Dan. I did talk to him during the weekend, and he was good. Happy to come on. He did say remind him, because sometimes his world gets away from him.
Oh, yeah.
And that could be that morning. Oh, we'll keep going. So one of our followers or people on X asked us, because there's a lot of people witnessing what's going on at the ostrich farm, and they've got lots of witnesses, and asked me if I had any advice for those folks who are on site witnessing the lack of effort by the CFIA. And I do, yes. Go grab a free copy, PDF copy of my book. Again, free, so go grab it. That whole book was written for the purpose of exactly this, how to be safe about this. So there are several tips to safely capture evidence that could be admissible in court. So there's a link. It's thelevingshow.com/books. It's free. Grab it. You can download it. There's no paywall for that. There's a whole section near the back, a bit of a checklist, and make sure that you do things in a way that doesn't jeopardize you physically or your mental health, because it's pretty important that you are prepared for the vicarious trauma that you will experience when you're seeing things like dying birds. But it's also important to capture it in such a way that the court could use it as admissible evidence. So don't do things like swearing and yelling and running at them, or getting into a kerfuffle, or causing a credibility issue for yourself. Because when you're doing admissible evidence arguments, that will be part of it. The Crown's going to do whatever they can to try and get rid of this evidence. And if your credibility becomes a factor in that, it's not normally great for you. So stay calm, do it from a distance, just be factual, don't add narratives to it, capture what you can. And this is all laid out in my book for free. So go ahead and grab it. And if that helps you provide future evidence that is admissible in court, then great. There's even a section about how to provide it to media, all media. Like, it'd be great if more media was covering this. Right. But there's a section about how to address it with the media. But the most important parts are you need to make sure that you stay safe and don't become part of the story. One of the last things we need is an injury by somebody who's a citizen journalist or an independent journalist, and they become part of the story. That is one way to ensure that anything that you capture can be tossed, because you have a different motive than just journalism. But yeah, go grab a free copy. That's why it's out there. I really want people to do their best to capture valuable evidence, not just videos that shock and upset people, but things that will actually hold up in court. And as you saw with Saba's arrest, there was no narrative. It was just the capturing from a safe distance, and that's likely why the Crown tossed it or didn't bring it in, because it would have been admissible. Yeah, there was nothing biased about it. It wasn't one-sided. It was simply what was happening, and that's a great example of what you can capture and how it can be helpful. Truth Seeker 01011, Tiana, she's now a podcaster.
As he should be.
It's about time. It's about time. Now, I'm looking forward to her work, because she definitely does her research and spent a lot of time collecting information. She's got a lot of receipts to share, and it goes deep. Like, I don't have this kind of time, because we are focused on happening events, things that are happening right now, kind of what's going on, the news of the day. She's been researching like crazy. So she's an hour before us, and she looks like it's going to be less than an hour. So you can go watch her and then come check us out on Saturday. I'm not sure what her regular schedule will be, but this is a good time slot, which will be early evening on Saturdays. But I'm really pleased that we're seeing her come forward like this, and many others. Yeah. One of the persons who pushed back on us on Facebook about our Saturday episode is a friend, somebody who took us out for breakfast. We spent some time with him. And I'm not disregarding him at all, but he was not pleased about who we didn't have on the show. He was upset about somebody we didn't bring on the show. Again, I don't think he's aware of the 4 attempts to bring people on to talk, but he should be now. But in either case, I said to him, grab a camera and start your own show. And that wasn't flippant. Yeah. That wasn't to be rude. I genuinely mean that, because I can't cover everything all the time for everybody in the satisfaction of all. I highly encourage more and more people to do exactly that. If you want to go down a path and you have something to share, or you think it needs to be shared, please do so. But kind of demanding that we do it for you I think is a little bit crazy. But grab the camera. And if it needs to get out there, then do so. I encourage that. The more people doing that means the harder it's going to be for the government to shut down this type of media. So I encourage it. So Tiana, this other person, and anybody listening to this right now, if
Dan Fournier, for example, was one who decided to go ahead and do that too.
Yeah, down the rabbit hole. I convinced him to give it a shot, and he's been doing it for a couple of years now. There's a few show, Payman Azakari. He reached out and he said, "Hey, because of you, I decided to run," and he's got a good show too. Absolutely, do it. I highly encourage you to. And this is not being flippant. I'm not just being rude. One of the things you're going to learn is how hard it is to fit everything into the time that you have.
Yeah.
How hard it is to get yeses from people to come on. And also how hard it is when you become a target. So when people don't like what you're doing, you're absolutely going to become a target to some people. And then you'll start learning. Oh, some people will just say whatever. They don't need proof. They're not there for the truth. And they actually want to harm or shut you down. You start to experience that like we did. That will also change your perspective. That's why you stay away from speculation and hypotheticals, because those are so easy.
Oh, yes, Squirrel Nuts Canada. Yes. What's up, Canada? Wayne. For sure.
Wayne's awesome. Wayne Peters is a good guy too. Yep. He does a lot of work. There's a lot.
And we need that variety. We need that scope because, again, we are competing with mainstream media, and we need to show that there is an alternative out there with good information, good content, so that we aren't suppressed.
We're competing with fake news. Fake news. There's a lot of fake news out there, and we're competing with them. And one more critique that I receive a lot of is, why don't you recognize Rebel? Because there's 150,000 reasons why I can't. I'm being sued by Ezra for a second time. He's trying to take all of this away from me. So don't see my lack of support for his efforts as his efforts are no good. Please, if you like that stuff and you want to watch that stuff and you're pleased with the work that they're doing there, good on you. We got no comment on that. But as far as promoting and assisting and recognizing, when that lawsuit's gone, talk to me then. But $150,000 because he doesn't like my reporting, that's a good reason not to spend too much time on that. And then also, so this event with Sean Hartman, I'm still running for office, but I pinned this one because it's really important that we get this story out. We would like to meet you all. So you can go to thelevineshow.com to find some tickets. Actually, I can take you through that.
I was going to say, why didn't we just do that?
Yeah. So here you can go to the website. You can decline these cookies. It's just part of the platform we're on. So you'll see the poster here, more information. It's a world premiere screening of the movie that we're still working on, getting the final pieces in.
I think key thing is, like, we've got Dr. Shoemaker, Dr. Speaker, Dean Rainey,
Dr. Hodgkinson, don't forget him.
Oh, yes, and Dr. Hodgkinson's going to be joining us as well. So I think that's a great opportunity for people to meet these great men who have stood up and spoken out, and in some cases, they're losing their careers over it.
And then Dan Hartman, remotely from Ontario, will be joining. We did offer to fly him out, but he is dealing with some medical condition, which has put him off of work right now, and we just simply can't fly. So he'll be doing remote, and it'll be in the evening and afternoon. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to line that up for you all. And there's some special appearances as well in this movie that, or film or documentary, that I think you'll enjoy. And then when you go to click Get Tickets, it takes you to Eventbrite, and you can check availability and then pick your date. So Edmonton, Red Deer, Calgary. So let's say you wanted Red Deer, and as simple as that. Pick your general admission or your reserved, and away you go.
Bing, bing, bada boom.
Bada boom, bada bing, and you'll get in there. Now, I'm really pleased. People are going to be there, showing up. It's going to be a good event. You're working on all the logistics and accommodations and the flights. And we want to bring the Q&A to you as well. If you have questions, bring them. And I definitely hope you have yourself a good evening. You'll be there. I'm not sure if the kids will be there, though.
Most likely they will be. Yeah, most likely they will be. There's going to be enough space for them to pot around, and kids will be there too.
Yeah, and if you're a vendor, I don't think we're charging or anything like that. But if you want to do your vending stuff, reach out to us. Events at thelevineshow.com will be a good place to connect on that one. But if you also go to our website, fill in the contact info stuff, you can find out there as well. Are you moving as Prairie Rising? I'm not sure what Prairie Rising is there, Squirrel.
Regina, October 18th, Prairie Rising event.
That's in Saskatchewan. Yeah. Flattered if you were considering coming out for we'll see what happens. We had to pick that particular day because Dr. Shoemaker's going into surgery a week or so after and may not be available. Dr. Speaker's schedule is very busy, and Dr. Hodgkinson was available as well, and Dan's available as well, and then Dean Rainey was available. So that was the weekend. We originally had it scheduled in September, right? The first time?
Beginning of October, the 4th.
The 4th, right. We originally had it in just Red Deer for the 4th, but because of security concerns, we had to move it. We didn't cancel. We had to move the Red Deer event, and then we added Edmonton and Calgary.
Yep. So. Yeah. After the assassination of Charlie Cook, it made us just.
Well, the venue too, because the venue doesn't provide that kind of stuff. So I had to contact the RCMP, and we had to consider certain things because there is an active Antifa organization in Red Deer. They have a website. They definitely push hard out there on Antifa side of things. So sorry about Dan. So he did give me a heads up on the weekend that he needed a reminder. And
Squirrel Nuts is conflicted. We love to see. So we've got the 17th, the 18th, or the 19th, different dates. But Squirrel Nuts.
If you're down in Regina, what's the date for that Prairie thing?
18th. So that's a Saturday.
Come for the Sunday in Calgary, because Calgary and Regina is not too far. We come for the Sunday one then. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not trying to compete with any other event. This is how the stars lined up, and this is what we got.
Oh yeah, Prairie Rising is with Wayne Peters, Tayana, and many, many more in Regina.
Oh boy, I didn't even know about that. I would have liked to have been there too. But if it's on the Saturday, and come on down to Calgary after that event. Not that far from Calgary, Regina. 5 hours, something like that.
Oh, you're not getting an answer from me.
Sorry. And then, of course, the film will be available after these events online. So you're not going to miss the video no matter what happens. We'll get that online shortly after.
Yep.
Sorry about the no Dan. He did give us a heads up that he needs a reminder, but I'm sure I'll connect with him later today, and maybe we'll do something else. Yeah, maybe we'll just do something in the afternoon and get it out to you. He's very excited about being involved in this, and finally, the story is going to be told.
Yay!
Like this.
Yeah, all right, it needs to be.
All right, that's all I got for you.
All right. Well, we'll switch over to our locals viewers now, but otherwise, everyone have a fantastic day, and see you tomorrow.
Thank you for that reminder. I almost ended it for the locals too, but yes, thank you all for being here. Share this out and get your tickets. It's going to be a good evening, few evenings. And sorry about overlapping with the Prairie event. Come out Sunday. Everybody, you take care of yourself. We love you all, and God bless.